Good evening and welcome to a brand new era of soccer in Charlotte. This is Transamerica Field and this is Charlotte Independence. Independence playing its first ever game here tonight against the veteran squad Charleston Battery. Now this isn't soccer as you knew it here in Charlotte, and it isn't the United Soccer League as you once knew it. For starters, Charlotte Independence is an expansion team playing its first game tonight, while the Charlotte Eagles, the team now in the lower tier USL's Premier Development League. My name is Jeff Hamlin here with Jack Bundum, and we're going to pause now for our national anthem here as we are getting ready for Charlotte versus Charleston here tonight. As we were talking about just a moment ago, we are live here from UNC Charlotte's Transamerica Field. UNC Charlotte, the campus that will house Charlotte Independence for the first few games. The Independence will play this match here tonight on the campus of UNC Charlotte. That will be a temporary stadium that will serve as its home for the bulk of the 2015 season. And, of course, the Ramblewood Soccer Complex still under construction. Again, my name is Jeff Hamlin. Jack Bundum joining me tonight here as we take a look at the starting lineups for Charleston Battery. They will go with a 3-4-3 lineup. And right at the top, you can see that number 16, Eviel Cordoves, is going to be starting tonight at forward. He is in place of Dane Kelly. Charleston coming into this game with a victory in its opener last week when they were down against Toronto FC2. They wound up winning that game despite trailing 2-0. They won 3-2. The man who wound up scoring the game-winning goal in that one is the defender, the cornerback, the center back, I should say, Taylor Mueller, who wound up scoring that one. Number 15, you'll also see a GD in there. He is a brand new starter to the team. John Ferguson in at defense. It'll also be Justin Portillo, 5'6", 135 pounds, along with the captain of the team, Jaron Van Schaik, along with Michael Chang and Zach Prince. We talked about the changes at the forward. One position that has not changed is the center forward position. That is Garbanzo, Ricky Garbanzo for Charleston. Also in there is another new starter in Navia Boyd. And now Charlotte Independence comes out. Independence will line up in a 3-5-2 setup. The man you want to keep an eye on certainly is Charles Alundu, who wound up scoring the only goal in Charlotte's victory last week in a friendly over the Carolina Railhawks. Alundu has been a bit of an enigma. He has played with the Cameroon national team, drafted by the Colorado Rapids of MLS. It was expected at one point in time that he was going to report immediately after being drafted, but that didn't turn out to be the case. But Alundu is ready to make his presence felt as he will start at forward tonight. Alongside him will be Ryan Finley. Of course, it was expected that we would see several other players, namely Alex Martinez for Charlotte, but Martinez is suspended for this contest, still sitting out a suspension, a 3-game suspension that was created because of a red card he received last season when he played for the Orange City Blues here in USL. Well, Charlotte is one of 13 new teams in USL this year. Tonight they face the oldest operating American soccer franchise in Charleston Battery, who have captured 3 championships in USL. It will be Charleston in the red and black uniforms with white stripes, Charlotte in their blue uniforms with blue shorts and white numerals. And we're very happy you're with us here for the first ever broadcast of Charlotte Independent Soccer, and we're underway here tonight from a chilly Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is 46 degrees here at game time. And it is Charleston moving left to right here. Zach Prince looking for the ball. That is cut off immediately. Taken down immediately was Jack Thompson. Play continues as Thompson takes the ball from the left side from Del Piccolo, and the ball goes out of bounds. And within seconds of this game, Jack, a corner for Charlotte Independence, and they're being quite aggressive off that giveaway by Charleston.
Yeah, stepped in to the midfield, won it nicely, and positive going straight to goal and creating an early scoring opportunity here with the corner kick. Let's see if they can put a good ball in the box and put Charleston on the back foot early.
Jack Vundam played at Wingate University down in South Carolina. The corner is away, and this head right on it. Goes off the post. Huge opportunity right away for number 8, and it went right off the post to the side. Andrew Ribeiro had a golden opportunity as the center back wound up having to go off the near net. We'll take a look at it again.
Well, what a save that is. I think he gets a hand on the keeper, yeah. Great reaction save there, and slightly fortunate with the battery defender just flicking it off the goal line.
That was additional Cooper in net making the save that kept the goal, and now he punches one out on the corner to the near sideline. Another attempt goes to the far end of the field by Jorge Herrera. That is headed back out, trying to clear it away from dangerous. Chang goes up the field. Charlotte keeps it in. Back into the box it goes, but immediately it's cleared right back out as number 8 with it. Back deep here for Charlotte. That was Ribeiro who nearly scored on the header, and now the flag is up along the near sideline. Cordoves raced down to the far end of the field, but he couldn't quite get free enough as he was well ahead of the pack, and offside was called. So we have not lacked for thrills here in the opening 2 minutes of action here tonight from Transamerica Field as Charlotte Independence and Charleston Battery, the first game in the Southern Derby. 3-team competition between Charleston, Charlotte, and the Wilmington Hammerheads. Wilmington will take on Charlotte next weekend. This is Cox around the near corner looking for the cross. It goes off the foot of Prince and recovered by the Battery. And away with that goes the defense up the field. Goes off the head of 18 Garbanzo. And Cordoves tries to keep it in play to the far end of Landau, looking for that pass that was beyond his grasp.
Yeah, the Independents looking to work the ball into wide areas early. The two attacking fullbacks in Cox and the right wing back there for Independents getting forward early into good crossing positions.
Certainly when it comes to the center back position, Charlotte will have an advantage as back comes Cordoves back the other way, but he's cut off immediately by the man we were just talking about, Patrick Slojic. All of 6'6", 185 pounds of him. Up the field it goes. Orlando looking for the header. Ball winds up in the near box, and Cooper comes out, and he'll concede a throw in to the near sideline. 3 minutes into the game here, Charlotte Independence had a golden opportunity on a header by Ribeiro that went in on net off a corner kick, and Arsenal Cooper, the Charleston keeper, wound up having one make a save on the near side. Now here's a shot from distance. It's cut off, a shot, and the save is made. Close-up attempt by Ryan Finley, the striker, and it's cleared away. 2 golden opportunities, and Finley there from just 12 yards out almost made it the first goal in Independence history.
Well, it rather fell fortunately to Finley, and I think he'll actually be quite disappointed he hasn't done better with that chance from 8 yards out there. It was a good, in the end, it was a good save from Cooper.
So Cooper finds himself a busy man after having to make only one save in the entire second half last week against TFC2. And here's what you were talking about here, Jack. Finley, you're right, he has to be disappointed. Could have gone someplace else with that shot as it went off his right foot. Another cross, but this one goes awry. And it will be a goal kick coming up here for Charleston Battery, a team that comes in very experienced. As we talked about earlier, they are coached by Mike Anheuser, the 1994 Indiana graduate. This team captured the USL Championship back in 2012. Goal kick taken at center field. Orlando comes in to sweep it away, and he takes it near side to Jack Thompson. Independent staying on the aggressive side here as the ball goes to Del Piccolo. Now he looks for Martinez, back over to Del Piccolo. But he is taken away, and Cordoves comes back here for the Battery. He's got room, but a nice clearance by Ribeiro, who nearly scored a moment ago. Winds up in the foot of Patillo. Now Cordoves to the far side. 5 minutes into the game, and we have an infraction called against the Battery. So Charlotte with 2 early attempts and 2 corners here, after Charleston really had such a solid second half after giving up 2 goals early last week against Toronto. They gave up 2 goals in the span of 15 minutes against Toronto FC2. But they came back from that 2-goal deficit, did Charleston, and wound up winning in the 91st minute on a goal from the aforementioned Taylor Mueller. Speaking of which, Mueller clears this ball away down the near sideline, and it will be Ribeiro knocking it out of bounds. Cordoves, as Charleston, in their red uniforms, very similar to the old Fort Lauderdale Strikers of the NASL, in the white shirts. Here comes the veteran Zach Prince, now in his 6th season with the team, the longest tenured member of this squad. Cordoves, and we have an offside as the flag goes up to the near side. Quick restart here as Independence takes over. Ball winds up in Ryan Finley's feet. Jack Thompson now will bring it up the field. And again, Charlotte being the aggressor coming up the near sideline. Back over to Finley now, but he can't control it, and it's cleared out of danger. Comes to the near sideline. Cox looks to let it bounce, and he can't keep it in play. It's going to go over to the battery. Raphael Cox there from Tacoma, Washington, unable to control the ball. 5'9", 160 pounds, played with Harrisburg City last season, making his debut, his official debut, in an Independence uniform tonight. Thompson clears it away for Finley at the midfield line as Battery give it away once again. Here comes Enzo Martinez. Of course, his younger brother, Alex Martinez, plays on the team. Back comes Independence again. Alondo makes a spirited run for it, but he is cut off immediately by Michael Chang. Charlotte keeps it in play, but it winds up going to the near corner and out of play. Charleston will have a goal kick. Jack, are you surprised that Charlotte is being so aggressive early in this game?
No, it doesn't surprise me. They're opening league game at home, in front of a, pretty good sized crowd here. I expect them to come out the blocks. I'm sure Jeffries has got the boys pumped up, and I'm sure he'll be pleased with what he's seen so far in the opening 7 or 8 minutes.
Man in net tonight for Charlotte happens to be John Berner, who posted a clean sheet in the victory over the Carolina Railhawks last Saturday over in Cary that gave this team a real shot in the arm as the friendly season wound down. Charlotte wound up losing on this field just 8 days ago to UNC Charlotte, the college team that plays in Conference USA. The Independents maintain the ball. Del Piccolo, now a shot from distance and a diving save as Cooper once again had to spring to his right to make the save on an attempt that time by number 19 for Independence, Enzo Martinez. The man from Rock Hill, South Carolina, who wound up winning a national championship with UNC back in 2011 in Chapel Hill, nearly was the first man to score in a Charlotte Independence uniform. Now in the 9th minute, and already Audisno Cooper has made 3 saves, 3 glorious attempts for Independence. What a start the team is off to. Emmanuel Gidi watches that ball go out of bounds as the Battery backed up here. Really just as they were last week against Toronto FC2. As we mentioned, they gave up 2 goals in the opening moments of that game. Cooper wound up making a mistake in net that netted the second of the 2 Toronto tallies. Ball to the far end of the field. Here's Thompson trying to clear it away. Can't. Recovered to the far side by Charleston. Piccolo tries to field it away. Martinez swipes in.
Strong tackle there.
Absolutely. Back comes Charleston the other way. Racing forward to the near side. And the cross attempt for Cordoves is knocked away by number 7, Jack Metcalf, the Clemson University product, and the ball out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the blue and white of Charlotte Independence.
First sight of goal for Charleston Battery, and disappointing end to that effort. We've been leaning back, blazing over the bar.
Yeah.
It looks like Charlotte Independence actually set up in a 4-2-3-1 early on, with Finley at centre forward, Herrera just off him, attacking midfield, and then on the wings we've got Thompson and Ellendu, who with Thompson's been lively and Finley's had a couple of half chances. So I like the look of this Charlotte team and the way they're really attacking those fullbacks, especially in the wide areas, Ellendu and Thompson early on.
Garbanzo tries to send it up the field. That's cut off by Ribeiro. And now a cut-off attempt. Cordoves racing for a long ball. Gets it, puts it close to the net, and it's a goal for Charleston. Aviel Cordoves winds up scoring immediately in the 10th minute after that goal kick that was controlled very briefly by Ribeiro. And the Battery now have grabbed a 1-0 lead.
Well, as quick as that, and you know, one chance in a game like this, and players at this level are clinical, and he puts a chance away. I feel that Berner slightly hesitated there. He sort of took a step forward, went back, and then came. I think if he had come off his line immediately, he might have been out to meet the striker.
But it was Cordoves who wound up taking advantage of that ball at midfield after the goal kick by Berner. And he floated in into an empty net. That was one thing that grabbed a little bit of criticism from the Charlotte end of things during the friendly season, was the fact that Berner was a little bit too aggressive at times coming out of net, and he found himself out of position, especially in the loss in the friendly to UNC Charlotte here, that wound up costing Charlotte a goal in the first half against the 49ers, and here it comes back to bite the team in the 10th minute. So Cordoves scores. Now a free kick whistled as the foul was called against Charleston, and it'll be Del Piccolo sending the ball away here. We'll get an assist in just a moment here. Haven't had one officially credited as of yet, but it was Javier Cordoves who wound up scoring as Charleston looks to add on to its opening week win last week as they won at Blackbaud Stadium in dramatic fashion over Toronto FC, 3-2. Ball comes up the near sideline and into the dugout for Charlotte. It'll belong to the Independents. Jack's Militia still singing despite the disappointing start. This is Finley sending the ball off a Battery player. And the throw-in comes to Alondo, who tries to create something off the dribble, but he's stripped away immediately. Now Cordoves has the ball picked off by Del Piccolo, and back come the Independents. Here's the ball going over toward Finley. Back heel trip. Now it's shot and a goal! Jack Thompson off the back heel pass from Jorge Herrera.
Yeah, lovely strike by Thompson. Connected well, drove it back across the goalkeeper into the far corner. And what a great response by Charlotte Independents to answer that goal just 2 minutes after going 1-0 down. Coach Jeffries will be delighted with that.
A fantastic pass that time from Jorge Herrera. We're going to take a look at it once again. It was a little back heel flick, and Herrera knew exactly where Thompson was. What a gorgeous pass.
Yeah, great little flick, using a bit of creativity, and Thompson does the rest. One touch finish in the bottom corner.
So God save the king. Charlotte scores its first ever goal, and it's 1-1. And the 13th minute, just 3 minutes after Cordoves wound up scoring for Charleston Battery. We're talking about Jack Thompson there, played at Division III Messiah College in Grantham, Pennsylvania. He played 20 games there last season, and here he gives Charlotte the equalizer. Ball headed free up the field. Winding up with it, Michael Chang tries to dig it free, but he can't. Del Piccolo. And Del Piccolo sends the ball up the field looking for Finley, but it's headed away by Mueller. And out of bounds it goes. That went off Martinez, and it'll belong to the Battery. Boy, that is some rare skill to have played together for as short a span as Thompson and Martinez and Herrera have, but yet it wound up working in spades that time for Independence, and what a goal that was. Up the field, Slogic sends it away to Del Piccolo. Now Enzo Martinez, who gives it up to the far side for Jack Metcalf, who is a surprise starter. Now Alondo tripped up to the far sideline out of bounds, and it'll belong to Charleston. We're in the 15th minute here, and lots of fireworks already. Already 4 shots on net, and one has gone in off a beautiful back heel feed from Jorge Herrera. Jack Thompson did the rest, and we have an even matchup here in the first ever game for Charlotte Independence here. Jeff Hamlin with Jack Vundam live here, and we're happy you're with us on YouTube. And we're going to have another chance to look at this goal in just a second here, Jack. What a lovely, lovely shot it was, and of course it was all set up by the beautiful pass from Herrera. From midfield, Cordoves takes over as Charleston looks to mount a charge back. Take down at midfield, and Del Piccolo is going to be hit with a foul. Free kick here from the midfield circle. Here comes Ferguson over to Mueller. Now Prince along the near sideline, muscled off the ball. Cox battling number 10, Navion Boyd for it, and it's going to belong to Charlotte. Look at this gorgeous feed here from Herrera.
Yeah, delivery in there. Finley misses a touch, and that's just a beautiful flick. It's great awareness from Herrera there to know that Thompson's on his backside, and Thompson with a great strike back across the keeper into the side netting.
Does that just come from natural soccer ability or instinct from all the training sessions these two have had over the last few weeks?
I think it's a combination of both. For Herrera to, he's got to have good awareness to realise someone's on the shoulder, and the defence are he draws the defenders into him in such a, obviously he's inside the penalty box, and just helps it onto his player and gives Thompson a chance to get a strike on goal, and Thompson finished it well.
Cox, Slogic with a job to hug the far end line to keep it in play. Now Prince controls on the right side, but he can't find anyone free, and Slogic will watch that one go out of bounds. Right into the discus area / the hammer throw area. This is still a track and field facility. We're at Irwin Belt Track and Field Center at Transamerica Field, the makeshift home for now of Charlotte Independence, but they will have a 4,300 seat facility opening up hopefully in May, the Ramblewood Soccer Complex, before hopefully moving into Memorial Stadium, which opened back in 1936. The stadium will be configured for soccer to around 21,000. And we're even here at 1, as you can see. We thank you once again for joining us here on YouTube. As Navion Boyd gives it up the field, Cordoves stripped away from behind by Slogic. Coming out of net is Burner. His pass cut off at midfield by diminutive Justin Portillo. Now his cross to the near side. It's taken down by Boyd. He'll fire on net, but the shot went well wide of the left cross.
Yeah, great touch by Boyd to bring it down. Just shame about the finish. Brings it inside. The ball dropped over Cox's head, who slightly misjudged it there. And you see the danger that the battery provide. They've got a bit of quality up top there in Boyd and Nadova.
The center back tandem of Slogic and Ribeiro. Ribeiro is no slouch at 6 feet tall, but Slogic is 6'6". Now, how much does that help a defense and a goalkeeper to have a man that big and that mobile in front of you protecting your net?
Well, just having that his presence there, reassures midfielders and reassures goalkeepers that, a big physical presence. He also good on the ball as well and has the ability to play out, but definitely gives you confidence.
Garbanzo gives it up, and Burner will take back over here. Started off somewhat windy. We've had rain throughout the day here in Mecklenburg County, but that managed to taper down as we approach kickoff time. Now the long pass up the field off the goal kick, and taken down on the play was Finley looking for a call. One that does not come. Cooper will have a goal kick as Charleston will take over.
Adoba and Thompson have just switched wings now. Thompson going out onto the right and Adoba coming onto the left here. So it'll be interesting to see if these two wingers now look to attack inside and drive inside at the heart of this battery defense.
Well, it's actually what they did last week with the Carolina Railhawks, and that's exactly when Alondo wound up scoring the only tally of the game. The clearing pass up the field is deflected and taken back over. Metcalf there sends it away to Burner. Martinez gunning for it, trying to win the header, and he does. Murphy plays it to the far sideline, and here's Jorge Herrera going to work once again. Down the right side, looks to keep it away. Off it goes to Jack Thompson, who scored the goal a moment ago. Thompson moves to the right. Herrera back to Thompson. Looks to go into the box, can't find anyone free there. Ball in the box, Murray can't quite get up in the air for that, taken down from behind Thompson, but no foul is called at the goal mouth right at the edge of the 18.
Yeah, the fans not happy with that.
Not at all. That happened right in front of Jack's Militia, the official fan support group, and now we have a foul called. Here's what was not called just a moment ago. What'd you think about this one, Jack?
Yeah, well, he's climbing over the top of Herrera there, and, knee into the back. He obviously wins the ball, but he goes through the back of the player in order to win that, and for me, that's a free kick to the Independence right on the edge of the box and should be a good goal-scoring opportunity.
Absolutely. That was right on the edge. Would have resulted in a direct free kick, even though it didn't happen in the box, which, of course, would have resulted in a penalty. Charleston back with it. Cordoves mounting a threat now. Moves to the left. Here's Chank. He'll send away Cordoves. This is onside, and here's a shot and a goal.
Well, the Independents back four looking across at the linesman, asking questions. I'll be interested to see the replay of this goal here.
Yep.
Seems as though Metcalf at right back there thought that he was standing in an offside position.
It was Ricky Garbanzo who wound up scoring the goal. Garbanzo scores the second goal of the night for Charleston. It looked like that Cox was looking over at Ribeiro, and there was some confusion as to who was to take what, as we'll take a look here in the replay in just a moment. But Charleston has managed to recapture the lead now in the 21st minute. It's 2-1. Thompson.
Goal scored by number 17, Ricky Garbanzo.
Garbanzo.
Assisted by number 16, Cordoves.
And Cordoves winds up with the assist, so he now has 3 points already in the game, counting his goal, which opened up scoring back in the 10th minute. So 2-1, Battery with the lead. On defense, that was a GD giving it away. Here comes Landau, who's now moved out to the right after staying to the left a moment ago. Oh, beautiful heel trip, a shot and attempt that time by Cordoves, and a diving attempt here. Finley couldn't quite get it in. Then Landau made an attempt on Cooper. Charleston players taking exception to that, as Landau perhaps made too much contact with Cooper.
Well, you can't fault Alondo there. The ball's there to be won. It's 50-50 ball. Alondo goes in strong, and the keeper's big and brave and comes out as well. I don't think there's anything malicious in that at all. I think the Charleston players are just trying to protect their goalkeeper as we have a look at it again here.
Let's take a look here. Ooh, my. Well, the ball looked like it was in the hands of Cooper. And just as Alondo struck it, he had his leg in motion just as Cooper wound up putting the ball and securing it in his hands.
Yeah, they met pretty much on time.
Wow. Let's see if this caught him in the face here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Looked like his shin guard might have caught him in the face. It's actually something that occurred in the CONCACAF Champions League in a game in Costa Rica not long ago. It was not involving a goalkeeper. It was something that happened in the outfield, and it resulted in a straight red that has the only Mexican team remaining in the CCL on the verge of getting eliminated. Here comes the Charleston goal, and apparently some question as to whether this was offside, and looking at it from that range.
Yeah, Slogic looks to be a couple of yards deeper than his other back three, which keeps him onside, and from there it's just an easy finish.
Yep. So Slogic, despite his height, didn't mind his marking duties there. Now another infraction whistled against Charlotte.
Yeah, the crowd getting a little bit restless here with the referee. A couple of decisions not going their way.
Cooper staying in the game despite what may have been a blow to the face there from Alondo. So Charles Alondo, all 5'7", 155 of them, who played several games with Colorado Rapids of MLS last year, creating a ruckus. The free kick comes in from Pertello, straight in the box, header on, diving save, attempt made by Berner on the header from Mueller.
Somebody missed the mark there as well, because he was wide open inside 18 yards, and a good chance goes begging there for Charleston Battery.
Absolutely. Mueller on the verge of scoring his second goal in as many weeks after he scored the game winner last week against Toronto FC2. So 2-1, Charleston with the lead after the goal by Ricky Garbanzo. Off the assist from Javier Cordoves, who also scored the opener back in the 10th minute. The Charlotte goal from Jack Thompson that was assisted off a beautiful back heel flick from Jorge Herrera. Slogic to the near side in the 25th minute. On a chilly night here in the Queen City, Slogic approaches midfield, launches up for Alondo, who tries to chest it down, wins the ball against Prince. Now Alondo goes down. No whistle, much to the chagrin of Jack's militia, to the near side of the field. Header taken down by Del Piccolo for Charlotte. He'll look to send it away to Metcalf, and he does. Metcalf centers the ball for Finley, but he's muscled off of it immediately by Sean Ferguson, the far side defensive back. And Ajiti clears it away. Cordoves tries to get it down the field. Here's Del Piccolo taking it back for the Independents, but gives it right back. This is Mueller. In his 4th season with the team, the native from Washington State. Tries to get it up the field for Boyd, but that's cut off immediately by Del Piccolo. Ball put forward by Alondo. Goes to no one in particular. As Charleston leads this game 2-1. You can become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. We encourage you to do that. Go to USL on Facebook. Catch up with all the games that are happening this weekend. This is the only league contest of the night, and because of social media, this contest between Charleston and Charlotte was voted the game of the week in USL. Far sideline, it is Cordoves on the attack once again and creates a corner as the ball goes off of Metcalf to the far end of the field.
Yeah, the Battery scoring 2 goals from corners last week against Toronto, so they are dangerous from these set pieces. It'll be interesting to see if hopefully Independence have done their homework on the games. I'm sure they will have, and they'll pick up the danger men in Moya there.
In fact, 2 of the 3 goals from Charleston last week offset pieces, both goals in the second half. The corner comes across the box. It's headed away by Herrera. Still after it though, Ferguson, and the shot goes just wide of the post. Looked like that Mueller managed to head that one down.
Yeah, inches wide, bobbling around. Moore heads it down, and it's just flashed across goal.
The attempt that time by Van Schaik, the captain of the team. Wearing the captain's armband, 6'1" native of Portland, Oregon. Also the team captain, spent 2 years with the NASL's Puerto Rico Islanders to begin his professional career. The goal kick by Burner that time, a disappointment. As it will be Prince taking it back over here. And Charleston goes back on the attack. Slogic wins that header, and Ribeiro will send it away. Ball skied away down to the near side. Keeping in bounds. Nope, failing to do so is Mueller. And it's going to be Charlotte ball here in the 28th minute. We remind you that next week it will be Charlotte going up against the Wilmington Hammerheads. That will be the second game in the Southern Derby. We'll have that here on YouTube as well as all USL games will be. And you can follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. We'll have that again on Twitter at USL. Foul called, much to the chagrin of number 10 Navion Boyd. And Enzo Martinez will send it away. Here's Ribeiro. Away to Metcalf. You mentioned the adjustments in lineup there, Jack, and Slogic gives up to Cox now. Man wearing the pink cleats. Invades the center of the pitch, but can't find Del Piccolo. And the pass is easily cut off and taken away by Zach Prince. Back comes Charleston on the attack. Here's Boyd. Pass down the middle. Head away from Garbanzo. It's taken back by Charlotte. And up the field, Slogic managed to clear it. And before Prince could wind up making a dash for it, offside is called. There's the play a moment ago that Alondo was looking for a foul called. Went down dramatically, at the very least. Here's Martinez. Del Piccolo to Metcalf. Now Ribeiro. And the long ball looked for Alondo, but Alondo winds up charging in on net after some confusion in the backfield on the back line that time for Charleston, but Cooper managed to secure it. Off the field, it goes off of Chang's foot out of bounds where the benches are located. And that's where Charlotte's first-year head coach Mike Jeffries, a veteran who has done a little bit of everything, actually played his college ball 2 hours from here, where he was an All-American at Duke University. played for the national championship in 1982 against Indiana in a game that went 8 overtimes. They didn't have shootouts back then.
Wow.
They had 8 overtimes. The Hoosiers eventually won it. Soccer was the first sport that Duke won a national championship in. They did so in the mid-'80s. Did that 6 years before the basketball team claimed the national championship. Prince away to Boyd, but his pass cut off by Slogic. Charleston battles back. Here's Portillo, who scored the goal. Or excuse me, it was Garbanzo who scored the goal. And Ribeiro clears it away in the 31st minute here tonight. The fans have made a very spirited showing here tonight. Almost a full grandstand along the near side as Jack Militia waves a flag, emblematic of the Revolutionary War. We'll get a shot of that coming up here in just a moment, but fans were abuzz about this on Twitter, and even though you have 2 teams from the state of North Carolina playing in NCAA tournament games tonight, those fans love their soccer here, and you see them in mass here this evening. It's Jack's Militia, and they're going to follow this team through thick and thin, regardless of what the score is. And they'll continue to follow Charlotte Independence as a new chapter unfolds here in Charlotte soccer history. Play continues at midfield, and the ball winds up in Garbanzo's feet. Running for it, Cordoves. He pushes down Ribeiro, and we have a foul called. Well, they're going to call a corner kick here. That was going to be a foul as Ribeiro wound up going down the play. Cordoves, it looked like pushed him down, but instead it's going to be a Charleston corner.
Yeah, extended the arm there. It's not a free kick in my book. You know, Ribeiro's a big, strong defender.
Right.
He wouldn't be complaining if the boot was on the other foot there.
That's part of sports.
Yeah.
See it one way, may not see it the other way when you're partisan. Here's a curling corner that's headed up in the air, but Berner manages to take it away and bring it down. Looking for Alondo, who slips and falls along the near side. I'll make for an easy clearance for Chang. Chang back at it, looked for Prince, went off his feet. Here comes Cox back for Charlotte to Del Piccolo. 33 minutes in, Alondo with the giveaway at midfield off the poor pass. Poor look that time. Cordoves is going to try to make him pay, but Cordoves tugged at the jersey of 16, or excuse me, of someone else for Charlotte, and that's going to wind up, that was number 19 he grabbed, Enzo Martinez, and that winds up with a foul at midfield. This time, Cordoves earned his foul.
Yeah, it's a little tug on the shoulder there, just enough to knock Martinez off balance, and well played by Martinez. Used his body well to get in between the ball and man.
Here's Slogic. Ahead to Thompson. He'll look to the far end of the field. Metcalf is there, looks for a steady pass up the middle. It went right by Herrera, and diving forward is Cooper to secure the clearance. Charlotte has 5 shots here in the first half. Charleston has 4. Some early attempts by Charlotte early on in this game. Here's Herrera, played well to Finley, but a very nice tackle made to the far end by Taylor Mueller. And here comes Garbanzo back the other way. Charleston on the run. This is Cordoves. Fans want an offside, and finally the flag does come up along the near side. Cordoves, they felt, was a step ahead of the pack, and perhaps they saw it before the referee's assistant did.
Yeah, that was a better line by the Independents. Kept it together. The four of them were communicating, dropping together, and managed to catch the battery winger offsides there.
Cox will try to retaliate the other way. Martinez could control it. Prince is back the other way. The midfielder, now in his 6th season, he has won 2 USL championships with the battery. And it will be Ribeiro sending it out of bounds for a Charleston throw. Scoring opened in the 10th minute after Charleston watched Charlotte put up 2 very dangerous attempts. One was a sterling diving save by Austin Cooper off a header on an attempt by Andrew Ribeiro on a corner. Cordoves to the near side, trapped by 2 men, and they create a giveaway. Martinez goes down,
Yes.
and it's going to result in a foul.
Smart play by Martinez.
And now we're going to have a booking as Prince looked like he wound up saying a little bit too much. And he's going to be hit with the yellow. Referee motioned to Prince there.
Charleston battery number 24, Zach Prince.
So for Prince, that'll be his second caution of the year. 5 results in a suspension, 1 game suspension.
Able to catch your Charlotte Independence all season long with exclusive benefits.
So back comes Charlotte off the free kick. In the 36th minute now, Charleston holding a 2-1 lead.
Or call 704-206-1515.
Turnover at midfield. Coming back the other way, Garbanzo out of bounds. Independence will take it back, and once again, you can tell the experience here when it comes to Charleston, Jack, because despite those early attempts by Charlotte that could have resulted in 2 goals within the first 10 minutes, they've settled into their game and let their experience and their poise take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Independence came, flying out the block, which at home at the league opener you'd expect. But Cooper stood solid for them in goal, made a couple of big saves, and ever since then, the 4 or 5 chances they've created, they've obviously been quite clinical in taking 2 of those. But Independence with, I think, the fair share of the possession. I think that Jeffries will be happy with this opening period. Maybe if they could be a little bit more clinical themselves in the final third of the field, the scoreline would be slightly different score.
But of course, there are problems in the final third of the field. The free kick comes into the box. Going after it, Mueller. Header comes to the center, and we have a foul called as Mueller wound up going over the back of Ribeiro to the near side. Nike is a proud sponsor of the USL and a proud partner as well. Follow Nike Soccer at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. 2-1, Charleston with the lead. Back to the other end, Enzo Martinez comes down the right side as Jack's Militia continues to sing to the left of us. Cox plays it away to Del Piccolo. And the 38th minute now, Martinez to Jack Thompson. Now Herrera couldn't quite look over toward the direction of Martinez. Now here's Cordoves, finds himself free on the break. This is onside, and Cordoves will loft it in for a goal.
Well, Independence had committed a lot of numbers forward, leaving 3 defenders back, and it was turned over on the edge of the Battery 18-yard box, and they turned it into a swift counter-attack with one long ball over the top there. Metcalf seemed to have missed the ball and threw on goal, and Garbanzo grabs his second of the night and with a cool finish.
Yep.
Over Cooper there.
It was Cordoves who wound up scoring his second of the night, and he is factored in on all 3 goals tonight for the Battery. As we'll take a look at the replay here. Trying to make out who made the assist. Looked like it was Michael Chang who sent a beautiful ball up the far sideline, and Cordoves did indeed cash it in. Michael Chang will get the assist out of that. A 5-point night for Cordoves. And Charleston with a 3-1 lead. Here's Cox back the other way, sends the cross into the box. That's headed out immediately by Mueller. Del Piccolo takes it back. Looking away to Thompson, but he can't control it. Now Cordoves. Away to Portillo. Here comes the counterattack. Cordoves looked away that time for Garbanzo, but he couldn't quite get his leg reached out far enough for it. Keeping it in is Navion Boyd. Goes right to the corner spot along the near sidelines. Sweeping back in, fine play by Thompson to take it away, and that'll ensure a clearance here by Slogic. Slogic will look up the field for Ryan Finley, but it goes off the back of his head and out of bounds. Just one of those growing pain type of plays right there.
Yeah, it was very swift counter-attack, and it was in fact obviously Cordoves. I had said it was Garbanzo, but Cordoves again with a cool finish, one-time finish, chip into the bottom corner.
Couple of beauties over the back that time was Mueller. as he climbed over Finley's back to clear that one away. As we're in the 41st minute, and Charleston has proven why they are among the top players in this league right now. Perhaps the class of the league, as they lead 3-1 off 2 goals by Aviel Cordoves, I should say. And Cordoves assisted on the second Charleston goal by Ricky Garbanzo. Here's Jorge Herrera looking to set up the free kick as play starts early in the box. And the official sounds his whistle. Once again, it looked like Mueller was getting a tad bit aggressive here. As we're in the 41st minute. We're happy you've joined us on YouTube tonight, and all USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD. And here's a shot, and while it appears to be a goal, the referee's flag up to the far side. It's going to be nullified for an offside. Alondo read that well, but it was offside called. And that will be a nullified goal. Alondo was a tad bit ahead of the pack, and he is a spark plug trying to create something there when Charlotte needs it most.
Looked like he may have gone a step early. It was a fantastic delivery into the box in a great area.
Speaking of fine deliveries, here's Cordoves trying to beat a couple of Independence players, but couldn't do it. We were talking just a moment ago, just before that goal. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. You can enjoy Charlotte next week against Wilmington. If you don't feel like making the trek out to North Carolina's coast, we encourage you to do so, though, if you're a fan of Independence. Right now, Battery with the lead 3-1. Cordoves sprinting after a ball. Ribeiro trying to beat him to it as it goes along the far side. Ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it went off Ribeiro.
Yeah, Cordoves is really causing problems for this Independence back four. I think his pace and power is causing Ribeiro problems, and he wins a smart free kick there in a good area for Battery.
Well, not only that, but Ribeiro's going to be hit with a yellow. So Ribeiro earns the first booking in Charlotte Independence history. Not an honor that he wanted, I'm sure, but one that he's going to wind up with regardless.
Yellow card issued.
Keep in mind, yeah, not much doubt about that one. Keep in mind as well, Cordoves was not the starter last week. He's in place of Dane Kelly, who was injured early in the second half last week against Toronto FC2.
And that just shows you the depth of the Charleston Battery team. I mean, obviously they're an established team, and he's come in and he's done a fine job so far.
Here's the free kicks going into the box, and Slogic manages to get his 6'6" frame in the air to knock it out of there. Digging after it is Metcalf. Now Martinez going after it with Mueller shadowing him. Ball can't be cleared quite yet. And here's Cordoves now from distance, but they'll roll just wide of the net along the near side post. We talked about Cordoves. He was one of several players who defected to the United States from Cuba. There are 3 of his teammates who did the same thing. They played in World Cup qualifiers with Cuba in 2010. They had a qualifier against Canada in October of 2012 in Toronto, but just before that game, he and 3 of his teammates on this team wound up defecting to America. And certainly Charleston was all the better for it. Tackle to the far end. No foul called. It was like words exchanged between Martinez and Michael Chang. Now here's Finley going after it as Charlotte momentarily had possession, but Mueller sends it up the field. Ribeiro taken back by number 20, Portillo, and back come the Independents. Here comes Thompson. Leaves it behind for Cox. Back over it goes to Jack Thompson. Cox once again will try to make something out of it, but he goes down, and the foul will be whistled against the Battery, and it will be a yellow card against Navion Boyd. Boyd wound up taking and going high on the tackle, and the challenge that time to Cox.
To the Battery, number 10, Navion Boyd.
So as we approach the end of the first half, Charlotte will have an opportunity for a free kick along the near sideline. As we'll take a look at the challenge once again here, Jack.
Yeah, just a late one. Cynical as well. Just kicked him in the back of the heels. Yeah, certainly a yellow card.
Well, after the pass was away on top of that.
Yep.
Here comes Herrera on the delivery, curls inside the box, and Cooper wound up perhaps misplaying that one as it came in perilously close on the net. Finley had an opportunity, but he couldn't quite strike it.
Yeah, had a good opportunity. I don't quite know if he realised that the ball was going to drop to him there, or he didn't quite get off the floor just to flick that in and sort of allowed the keeper just to take it uncontested.
2 minutes of extra time will be allotted here in the first half as another foul is called against Charleston.
Yeah, Boyd's going to have to be careful. He's already on a yellow card.
An attempt at the far end. Alondo was looking for Finley, couldn't quite haul it in. Here's Del Piccolo to Metcalf. He avoids the takeaway. Slogic at midfield. Charlotte trying to resume some pressure, trying to end this half the way they started it. Here comes Martinez to Metcalf, the Clemson University product. Del Piccolo back over to Metcalf along the far sideline as time winds down here in the first half. Jack Thompson. Or excuse me, that was Jack Thompson to Martinez now. Here comes Cox playing the center across. The header attempt by Del Piccolo goes wide to the right. Charlotte fans encouraged to see some fight out of this squad that finds itself down 2 now against this veteran Charleston Battery team. As we'll take a look at the header that went awry by Del Piccolo. Paulo Del Piccolo played last season with Arizona United SC here in USL. Cox with the ball as we wind down the 2 allotted minutes here. Taken down immediately there was Finley by Mueller, and that's going to result in another free kick as Independence will have one final opportunity as the half winds to a close. Thompson up the field. Alondo tries to beat pressure and does. He's staying onside and it goes out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say Alondo was not onside. And it will be offside called here. As Alondo wound up making some contact and he wants to know more about that from the official. But offside was whistled first. And that's halftime. So we're at the half. And what a half it was for Javier Cordoves, who wound up with 2 goals and an assist. A 5-point half for Cordoves. And at the end of the first half, Charleston Battery leading Charlotte Independence in Charlotte's debut, 3-1. The score here, and Jack, certainly it was a tough half for Charlotte Independence, and some of those things we were talking about, growing pains, and that includes experience trying to play with one another, namely along the back line. Some back line errors really came back to haunt Charlotte in the first half of play, and Javier Cordoves wound up taking advantage of those errors.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, obviously Independence came out flying, created a number of chances, and Charleston grew into the game, and Cordoves caused them problems. They struggled with his pace and power, and he put away a couple of goals, but I don't think Independence should be disheartened. I still think they're in this game, and there's still a good 45 minutes to go, and they have showed that they can create chances, especially in that first 10 or 15 minutes, and if they can come out and do that in the second half again and grab a goal early on, I think we'll be in for a real good second half.
It'll be most interesting to see if Charlotte can find the spirit and find the fight to wind up making this a more narrow game. 3-1. We're going to pause here. We'll come back in just a moment as we get ready for the second half of play in the first ever game for Charlotte Independence. And you're watching it all right here on YouTube with the Battery leading Independence 3-1. Stay with us. Jeff Hamlin, Jack Bundum back with you here in Charlotte at Transamerica Stadium as Charleston Battery lead Charlotte Independent 3-1 in the first ever game for Independence. And even though Charlotte is down 3-1, they came out firing, as we'll take a look at our first half highlights here, Jack. And the first thing that jumps to mind, this corner kick that nearly resulted in the goal minutes into the contest.
Yeah, the first minute in, great save there by Cooper, who was very busy early on, and Charlotte almost off to a flyer there.
And then it was Finley on this back heel trip with a golden opportunity, but he couldn't quite cash it in, as it was Cooper once again. That was within the first 5 minutes of the game, cashing in with another huge save. And then this shot from distance by Martinez resulted in another save by Cooper, and shortly after that, Charleston wound up scoring the first goal of the night by Cordoves. Aviel Cordoves wound up scoring, but here is the Charlotte equalizer, the gorgeous back heel trip by Herrera that led to Jack Thompson scoring the first goal in Charlotte Independence history. And once again, that beautiful back heel flick evened the contest at 1 in the 13th minute, as John Thompson puts his name in the history book as the first man to score an official goal for Charlotte Independence. Here was a strange no call after Charleston took a 2-1 lead, or just moments before they wound up taking a 2-1 lead. That was a no call. And then here's Michael Chang giving up to Cordoves, and eventually he would find the man who would score what is right now the game-winning goal, and that is Ricky Garbanzo, who scored his first goal of the season, and that made it 2-1 at that point in the 21st minute. And it looked like there was some confusion along the back line there, Jack, as you alluded to earlier on.
Yeah, Slogic just kept the players onside just a yard or two deeper than the rest of his defensive team, and they took full advantage of that, the Battery.
Charlotte came back, had an opportunity later on, but ultimately it was Cordoves, the man who could defected from Cuba, wind up scoring here. And you felt that this was a little bit of blame here on the goalkeeper for Charlotte, John Berner.
I believe it was this one here.
Yes.
There you go. No, sorry, it wasn't this goal. Maybe
okay.
it was the third goal.
This was the third goal.
Okay, sorry, the second goal then it was where a little blame. But this one here was just a swift counter-attack, one ball over the top. Cordoves makes a great run into that channel and finishes coolly there.
So Cordoves with a 5-point half, 2 goals and an assist, and Cordoves wound up in a foot race here with Andrew Ribeiro, and it resulted in Ribeiro earning a yellow card here as he tugged down. In fact, play got somewhat chippy late in the first half. Cox here wound up getting fouled from behind. This led to a yellow card called against Charleston's number 10. That was Navion Boyd with the yellow there. In fact, there were 3 bookings in the final 10 minutes of the first half. But at the half, it stands Charleston Battery 3, Charlotte Independence 1. As Charleston looks for 2 wins in its first 2 games, and of course the all-important first 3 points in the Southern Derby, the 3-team race between Charleston, Charlotte, and the Wilmington Hammerheads. Combined, there will be 8 games between all of these teams, and Charlotte will wind up with the ball to start the second half as they go left to right. There was a substitution made for Charlotte. During halftime, Caleb Calvert has checked into the game, the young man who played with Chivas USA during its final season of operation in Major League Soccer. Chivas wound up folding back in November, of course, if you've been paying attention to Major League Soccer, and within days of Chivas folding, Major League Soccer announced that a new team would be added in Los Angeles. Right now, it's tentatively known as the Los Angeles Football Club. They'll receive an official title later on. Jack, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you have a stake in the ownership group in that team. I believe everybody on earth has ownership stake in LAFC. It's you and Mia Hamm and Magic Johnson and all sorts of others. Regardless, congratulations to LAFC, and also congratulations to Minnesota United, announced this week as the new franchise, one of the latest expansion teams in Major League Soccer. Back down the pitch below us, Charleston trying to resume its attack, and Cordoves tries to pin it back, but Finley is there, and he's going to pursue.
Oh.
Finley taking down the box. Is this going to be a penalty? It will be. It's going to be a penalty. excellent pursuit, and Ryan Finley was aggressive on the attack, didn't hesitate for a moment, and it will be a penalty.
A great opportunity here for the Independents to get on the score sheet. And I said at half-time, Jeff, that the next goal is very important, and a great opportunity. Finley just nicks the ball away from the defender who sticks out a lazy foot, and Finley goes down, and penalty's been given, rightfully so.
So it is Finley receiving instructions now from Jorge Herrera, some words of encouragement, and Finley will try to cash this one in. Here's the play once again. Looked like it was Mueller who committed the foul. It was Taylor Mueller, man in his 4th season. And now Ryan Finley will try to make this a 3-2 game with a penalty shot here in the 48th minute. One-on-one with he and goalkeeper Additional Cooper. Can Finley make it a 1-goal game? He does!
Yep, sends the goalkeeper Cooper the wrong way and puts the ball into the bottom left-hand corner, coolly away, and Finley seems pumped up as he's having a go at the couple of the Charleston battery players there.
We'll take a look at the penalty once again here, but you talked about how important the next goal in this game would be here, Jack, and this is a huge one, as he simply caught Cooper leaning the wrong way.
Yeah, it brings the crowd back into the game. Momentum now with Charlotte Independents, and just a fantastic start to the half, exactly what Independents needed.
Well, just like Independents started the first half, aggression as they mounted a rush to the far end of the field. Finley fouled in the box. Taylor Mueller wound up getting the foul call, and Finley puts away the penalty, and it's a 3-2 game, and Charlotte has new life. Here comes Metcalf back the other way. Cordoves with a 5-point first half has that ball go off his chest. Metcalf will take it back as the crowd singing away now, rejuvenated after Charlotte scores on its first penalty kick in team history. Slogic looks for a place to play it. He's got some wide strides for a center back. Cox will take it. Away it goes to Enzo Martinez, and he's unable to keep it in bounds. Is the man to the far side, Jack Thompson. He'll belong to Charleston.
I think the Independents can be a little bit more patient with the ball. Battery defending quite deep within their own half, 10 men behind the ball. I think if the Independents can sort of switch the ball from left to right and try and move that battery, defensive lines, then I think they'll have more joy in penetrating as opposed to just trying to play immediately in through the midfield and more directly.
We have seen some weaknesses at times from the Charleston back line, not quite as often as the Charlotte back line, but that's because that is one area of Charleston's team that has lost an awful lot of experience from last year. Charlotte back on the attack.
And they need to get that man on the ball there, Herrera, on the ball higher up the field more frequently. Absolutely.
Here's Metcalf to Del Piccolo. Mueller is in there, and he's making his second start in as many games for Charleston. He's replacing a veteran in Colin Favely, who was the captain of the team last year, but now he's playing with Ottawa Fury FC of the NASL. Also departing the team last year was John Wilson, who spent 12 years with the Battery. O'Brien Woodbine, who is not starting tonight, started in his place last week, and tonight those duties fall on the shoulders of Sean Ferguson. Cordoves to the aforementioned Ferguson. He's pressured from behind, and Charlotte now pressing for the first time tonight. Yeah. And again, a new form of aggression there, Jack.
Yeah, trying to put that Charleston back line under a little bit of pressure here early on, and this time giving away the free kick, but that's good signs. They will continue to do that and continue to put them under pressure, and hopefully they'll turn the ball over.
Ajiti sent the ball to Cordoves. Goes awry. Del Piccolo there to take it. He's taken down. Play continues. With the ball away is Van Schaik. Gets away to Cordoves, who's looking for a hat trick, but he has the ball stripped away by Ribeiro, who clears it up the field. Now Finley sprints after it. Thompson on the attack. Plays away to Herrera. Back over to Thompson. Metcalf to Finley. Charlotte bench wanted a foul there. Nothing called. Back comes Enzo Martinez. Some nifty maneuvers there. Aims it to the near side. Alondo finds himself free, and back come the Independents looking for the equalizer. Alondo outside the box will play it in. One-time strike, and Finley looked for a second of the night, but Cooper managed to make a diving save and a sprawling one at that. Fantastic one-time attempt there and a good look inside by Alondo. Finley nearly cashed it in. Ribeiro misjudged it. Burner calls off his teammates to play it. 3-2. Charlotte with a goal off a penalty kick from Ryan Finley in the 48th minute to start off the second half of play in promising fashion for the Expansion Independents in its first ever game here. We'll have a look at this shot once again here. A golden attempt here for Charlotte for the equalizer, but Cooper has been very, very solid in net here tonight, as you expect a veteran to be. Ribeiro plays it alongside of Metcalf. Now Alondo can't keep it in bounds. This was another great attempt here, and Cooper's had to be on top of his game. Alondo sent a lovely ball in here.
Yeah, great ball in, and Finley not quite getting that connection that he maybe a wish for. But again, good early signs. It'll be interesting to see if they can work Alondo into wide areas in 1v1 situations, because he has a lot of pace.
Here's Herrera looking for Alondo on the near side, but he is beaten to the ball by Agiti. Back the other way, Del Piccolo, as Martinez set it his way. Alondo outside the box, looks for Finley, who couldn't get it situated. The ball was flicked away by Van Schaik. And Agiti will take it right back for Charleston up the near sideline. A little shove in the back, and that'll be called here against Ribeiro. Official let minor contact like that go in the first half. Here he calls it.
Yeah, strange. It was a real soft one, minimal contact, but it's a different area of the field as opposed to the edge of the box where, you know, the decision, given a decision there, obviously affords you a good goal-scoring opportunity as Charlotte on the counter-attack here.
Van Schaik on the giveaway. Finley dives for it, but it's headed away by Ferguson. Now Mueller will come over, but he's caught off by Cooper, and Charleston will survive.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. Just caught the back of Finley's heels. The ball had been a couple inches to his right. It'd have been in.
Up the field, the header is won by Charlotte momentarily. Now Charleston charges back as Cordoves watches on, but Burner, after taking the ball away from Raphael Cox, wins it back. Metcalf swooping in for the interception is Prince. Can't quite get it, and Prince is going to be hit with a foul as he came in high on Thompson. Here comes Cox back the other way, bumped off the ball, maintains possession as he goes on the overlap, and then forces a tackle into the Charleston box. The Battery will take it back in the 55th minute now, and Charleston still holding on to a 3-2 lead. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub at USLsoccer.com. And I know that some of our producers are going to be watching games tomorrow. Wilmington will be playing, and lots to keep up with in the Eastern Conference. Last weekend there were 3 games. How about Seattle Sounders FC2 with a strong showing as they knocked off the defending USL champions last week, Sacramento Republic. Far side of the field, ball goes out of bounds as it's a little too long for the legs of Cordoves.
Yeah, Cordoves looking to exploit those spaces left by the fullback getting forward. Cox and Metcalf, he's made a good couple of runs into there, and it looks like he's looking to make those runs again in this half.
Here's Ribeiro, who nearly scored the first goal in team history off a header. On set pieces, it took a magnificent save by Cooper to make the save back in the second minute of the contest. Ball came close to the post, but Cooper was there to swat it away. Metcalf looks for he looked for Alondo, but it was knocked out of his hands. On the throw, Alondo into the box, plays it away, and unable to get it is Thompson. Charlotte looks to apply pressure. Del Piccolo will keep it in bounds. This is Thompson. Martinez looks for Herrera. Instead, Del Piccolo will take it now. Metcalf charges it in. Ball winds up out of the box and cleared away momentarily. Ribeiro is there to play it back on for Del Piccolo. Now Metcalf. Alondo will take it down the right flank. Now he'll charge on the inside. On the take-on, he's stripped away. Metcalf is there to maintain possession. But they're going to call an offside here Looks like offside will be whistled here against Independence. Londo unclear exactly what was called or who the offside was whistled on.
Well, Independence with another good opening 10 minutes to start this half again. Couple of chances. Obviously got themselves back in the game. Let's hope they can continue to apply this pressure, this high pressure off the ball onto the Charleston battery and keep going. They're definitely going in the right direction here.
One thing that Coach Mike Anheuser has preached to his team repeatedly is patience over the years, and that has worked. Slogic takes the header, sends it up the field to Herrera. Charlotte will continue to apply pressure. This is Thompson with a lovely ball. Finley is tackled away. No foul, but the Independents will have a throw as it winds up in the long jump pit. Metcalf keeps it in play. This is Del Piccolo. Back over to Metcalf. Now Alondo looks for the cross, sends it in, ends up the top box. It's headed out. This is Metcalf to Del Piccolo. Goes for Cox to the far end as we approach the 59th minute. And Cox will opt for the center back, Slogic, as Charlotte regroups. The only goal of the half came on a penalty in the 48th minute. Ryan Finley was fouled by Taylor Mueller. Finley converted the penalty, and we've got a one-goal game. Cox down the left sideline looks to move in. Here's Del Piccolo. Away to Ribeiro. Metcalf, the former Clemson star, the 5'8 midfielder. And it looks like a little more patience is being shown offensively here as Charlotte's unable to gain their entry and unable to get the long balls the way they wish.
Yeah, I'm glad they're being more patient with the ball. When they work the ball now into that final third of the field, it's a little bit static, so they need to, 1-2s, give and goes, maybe some overlapping runs in wide areas or underlapping runs just to break through those banks of the defensive lines for the Charleston battery, but definitely a little bit more patience on the ball, which is good to see.
Herrera stripped away at midfield, and now giveaway by Cordoves. Herrera gets it right back. Looks to play it to Del Piccolo, is taken out of his feet. Chang, Cordoves with a 5-point game thus far, 2 goals in, an assist, and the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Independence working hard now off the ball to apply high pressure, which is good, and especially in the battery defensive half. But applying some good pressure here when they turn that ball over.
And it looks like we're going to have a substitution, our first of the night for Charleston. It looks like that Ricky Garbanzo is going to exit the proceedings. The man who scored the second goal of the evening for Charleston is going to go out. And in his place will be number 18, Jose Rodriguez, who will see his first action of the season. We talked about how experienced Charleston is as a team. They went 7-1-2 during their friendly slate in their entire exhibition slate, and that included several wins over MLS squads. Their only loss came to NYCFC in the Carolina Challenge Cup. Van Schaik fouled at midfield, and right now NYCFC looks like among the class in the Eastern Conference of MLS. Off to a very strong start.
Yeah, great start. Really unfortunate not to win on the opening day of the season as well against Orlando City when Kaka equalised for them late on.
But they bounced back from that and won that historic affair at Yankee Stadium in front of over 43,000. Ball to the near side. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Jack.
No,
what were you saying?
It would have been fantastic to be there, wouldn't it?
Oh. For those who poo-pooed the notion that soccer could ever work in New York City again after the death of the New York Cosmos, that was a resounding answer.
Yes, it was.
Little cross up there as Del Piccolo wound up in a tangle. Foul was called on him. Cordoves has his throw-in intercepted. It's taken away by Martinez. Unable to clear it away is Van Schaik. With the ball now, Boyd with 3 Independence players pursuing him. Nice ball away. Sent it away to Rodriguez to the far side. As we're in the 62nd minute now. 3-2 the score. Racing for it is Finley, but he overran that one. Ferguson will take it back as he'll play it alongside to Angidi. Now Michael Chang once again. Ajiti. Charleston has not been as active offensively here. No real answers, and John Berner has barely touched the ball in net during the second half here at the Charlotte end defensively.
No, well, I think that's due to the Independence team, you know, really pressing them and working them hard. You know, forcing early turnovers for the Battery, not really able to hold on to the ball.
That's right. Managed to get the New York Cosmos mentioned in there. That's our first 1970s NASL comment of the week. So I'm going to try to work that into the broadcast just to prove how old I am. Those who have seen the documentary Once in a Lifetime might understand what I'm talking about. Ball out of bounds, and Charlotte continues to be aggressive, but now a giveaway, creating at Cordoves. But the ball stripped away from him by Slogic and cleared away by Del Piccolo, and back comes Charlotte on the counterattack. Here comes Alondo moving in, but he's shut down immediately. Well done by Ferguson. Or excuse me, that was Van Schaik, the captain of the team. That was 14, not 4. And Ajiti away. Van Schaik back with it now. As we're in the 63rd minute, Portillo goes to the far end. Charleston will move back down. Back with it, Zach Prince. He'll take it to the top of the box on the take-on. Looking for the strip away was Martinez. Van Schaik maintains possession. And the Battery being patient with a 1-goal advantage. Ajiti, Van Schaik. Moves along to Rodriguez, who just checked in. Now to the far side. The cross attempt is broken up by Ribeiro out of bounds, and Charleston will have a corner. It's third of the game. Well, the steady ball movement and the patient passing yielding some results there. And Van Schaik with a corner last week that went in on net in the 91st minute led to the game winner by Taylor Mueller against Toronto FC as the Battery came down from 2 goals down to wind up getting the result when it looked very unlikely just 15 minutes into the game. Van Schaik now will put this one in play. It'll curve into the net just as it did last week. An attempt is cleared out, but a foul will be called against Charleston regardless. And it looked like the man contesting it was the man you see right there, Sean Ferguson.
Yeah, great delivery by Van Schaik. Hanging in, whipped into the back post, right on that goal line where it's congested, as you can see. 10 or 12 players in there.
Looked like Ferguson had an opportunity at that, but Del Piccolo managed to lean in and almost break it up and get fouled in the process all at once.
Yeah, just did enough there to save his team.
Still 3-2. At midfield, Del Piccolo takes over. Thompson, who scored the first goal in Independence history with the ball right now. Now Metcalf on the overrun. Del Piccolo will try to get the official to say corner kick, and it is a corner as it wound up going off the leg of Portillo to the near side. Looks like Herrera's down, chatting with the corner official about a previous no call, but Thompson will put the ball into play here. So an opportunity in the 66th minute for Independence to tie the game. This is their third corner of the contest. Thompson lines up on the track here. Inverted ball, Cooper manages to slap it away. It was free in the box for a moment perilously, but Charleston will clear. Cordoves, Portillo. Back up the field it goes to Rodriguez. He has it stripped away by Cox. Slogic comes over to clear. Ajiti back over for Charleston. Still 3-2 after the corner went awry. We'll take a look at it in just a moment here as Prince sends it up the field. Can of corn for Slogic to clear it. Taken right back by Cordoves. Fans chanting, "I believe that we will win," and you couldn't walk 50 feet last summer without hearing that chant. And here's the corner that was free for just a moment. It looked like a misread right there by Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper obviously, defender got called off it late by the looks of it, ducked out the way, and obviously in the line of sight of his keeper, Cooper, who really flapping at the ball. And Charleston getting quite lucky there. Fortunately, it didn't fall to an Independence player.
And we have a substitution now. Charles Orlando goes out of the game, and it's going to be Caleb Calvert going into the game. We were told that Calvert checked in at halftime. That actually was not the case. He is now in the game, so this is the first substitution of the night for Charlotte. As Orlando is out, Calvert is in on the free kick that's headed away immediately by Metcalf. Goes back out to Zach Prince, who looks to take it right back in. Burner charges out. Ball still free in the net. A Charleston player is down. And the official sounding the whistle for an injury timeout. Burner came over the back of the man who's down right now, and he's helping him to his feet. Looked like that was Mueller who went down, the center back who was charging in. We'll take another look at this, and Mueller is a dangerous man on set pieces here. Ooh, caught him right in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. He's a big presence there, and he judges the flight of the ball well and gets himself in good positions to cause problems. This time gets a hit on the head from the goalkeeper.
That's right. We told you last week he was the man who scored the game winner against Toronto FC2. Mueller going to stay in the game. As we're at the 68th minute now. Charlotte with the only goal of the half, but Aviel Cordoves has had the night belong to him. Well, we'd thought that Mueller would stay in the game, but it looks like he's checking out now.
Yeah, Cordoves has quite a quiet second half. Charlotte have managed to keep him quiet relatively. I think mainly due to the amount of possession that Charlotte Independents have had, and playing in the Battery half for most of it is he's sort of isolated up there by himself now. With I feel Charleston getting numbers behind the ball and making sure that they're hard to break down with obviously the lead that they have.
Had a drop ball, and it's going to belong to Charlotte, and with that a substitution. Mueller is going to stay in the game, but it looks like Dante Marini is going to come in here for Charleston in just a moment. Slogic right now in the 69th minute. Looked like Marini was going to check in a moment ago for Mueller, but Mueller is staying in the game, and you would think that Marini is going to replace one of the forwards since he's one of the attackers himself. Here comes Charlotte back the other way. A play in, almost wound up in the possession of Finley, but that's cleared away quickly by Ferguson. Up the field, he was looking for Cordoves, who got mixed up with Slogic. Slogic won that duel. Cordoves won a foul that never came. Here's Metcalf at center field. He sends it away to Martinez. Cox is back the other way. Charlotte trying to mount a charge and looking for the equalizer here as we approach the 70th minute. Metcalf moves to the right. Sends away to Caleb Calvert, who just checked in. And therefore Orlando. Del Piccolo, Slogic, 3-2. Charleston with the lead. All of its goals came in the first half. All of them in some way factored in by Aviel Cordoves. He scored 2 and assisted on 1 put in by Ricky Garbanzo. Charleston back in possession, and now giveaway. Here comes Cox back. He's looking away, gets away to Martinez, and now the chip, and it's nearly an own goal, as that time Mueller perilously put the ball over the crossbar, and it nearly wound up going over the head of Cooper and into the net, his own net. Dangerous play by Mueller, and he concedes the 4th corner of the night. Here it is again.
Well, it's a tough one to deal with. High looping over the top of his head, and he's obviously trying to clear the ball away to safety, and slashes at it, and fortunately just lands on the roof of the net for Charleston Battery.
Now Jorge Herrera will send away the corner in the 71st minute here. So Mueller with a mistake that Charleston hopes they don't have to pay for.
The Independents player putting a lot of players around the goalkeeper this time, maybe after seeing him flap at the last corner kick here. They've got 4 players with inside that, or in and around that 6-yard box now.
Looks like Dante Marini is about to check in and has done so now. Here's the corner. Ball comes out. It's free in the box. Here's the kick, and it just goes over the crossbar.
And again, Independent. I think spot a weakness maybe in Cooper's game here, you know, coming for crosses. I mean, that's the second or third one now that he's sort of parried and dropped, and this, here you go, you'll have a look at it again here as they put it right in that area, dangerous area. Keeper comes, doesn't get anywhere near it, and couldn't quite get it on target.
That was Caleb Calvert with a golden opportunity. Marini has checked in here. Dante Marini in his second season from Northeastern University. He played in Boston. He has checked in for Navion Boyd. I have a call here against Charleston. Mike Anhauser does not look happy about that at all. Looks like he was upset that this ball was, we're going to take a look at the corner here. Yep, went off the chest, I believe, of Ribeiro.
Yeah, Cooper really not looking confident at all coming for crosses, you know, coming out for that and doesn't get anywhere near it. And be interesting to see. I hope Independence get, you know, any set piece in the final third, corners, free kicks. I hope they're able to put it on that goalkeeper and get numbers in and around him, because I feel that they'll have a good chance of scoring a goal here.
And we're going to have a yellow card here. Michael Chang wasn't backing up far enough after a foul was called against Charleston, as Raphael Cox was fouled, and then Chang would not allow a free kick, enough room for a free kick to be launched, and that ultimately led to a yellow against him. So Michael Chang takes the yellow in the 73rd minute. The clearance away. Metcalf to the right. He was looking that time for Calvert, who misread it, and it's intercepted by Van Schaik. Back come the battery in the 74th minute. Cordoves, the man of the hour. Away to Dante Marini, who is now checked in. Marini stripped away by Calvert from behind, and it's going to wind up in Herrera's possession. Metcalf, Calvert. Up the field looking for Finley, but that'll be headed away by Ferguson. Herrera tries to retain possession, gets it to Martinez. Now Del Piccolo. Charlotte again stringing together passes. Will it lead to the equalizer? Del Piccolo looks to the right, but that pass was errant, intended for Metcalf.
Yeah, sloppy pass from Del Piccolo. Wrong choice. Maybe got caught in two minds whether to hit Calvert, the winger, or his Metcalf. He's right back there.
Well, taking a look now at the grandstand, you can't find many empty seats. Just a fantastic showing here for the first game of Charlotte Independence. Just a fantastic showing here by Jack's Militia. Take a look at some of the fans here, and it's only going to grow as the weather gets warmer. Keep in mind, it was 46 degrees, folks, at kickoff. Not exactly model summer soccer weather here in America. It's Premier League weather in England, but not here. Getting free of the attempt on the run. Thompson made a good run at it. Couldn't quite cash it in as Cooper wound up leaning down. Excuse me, that was Enzo Martinez on the attempt. Charlotte continues to be the aggressors. Charleston really has not had much of a scoring attempt here, a serious threat in the second half. They had one corner that went in on net, but ultimately resulted in a foul. Now here comes Rodriguez back the other way. Cordoves is free, but his shot well above the net. Cordoves went to the ground immediately, but nothing was called. And keep in mind, last week, Charlotte had Zach Prince get a yellow for simulation, and perhaps Cordoves was flirting with that there.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that recently, especially in the modern game. I think they're working hard to try and stamp that that out of the game. There's no place in soccer, really.
Now here comes Daniel Jackson. And Raphael Cox is going to check out. So Jackson is going to be a third attacker, a third forward coming in. As first-year head coach Mike Jeffries, the 1983 Duke graduate, looking to align a formation that will become even more aggressive. Jackson, young man who was signed away from the NASL's Carolina Railhawks, where he played last season, and he's in there now as the second independent substitution. Coming way out of net here is Berner. He'll have to play it out of the box, does so to Slogic. We're now in the 77th minute. It's 3-2. Metcalf away to Calvert, and it goes off the leg of an Independence man out of bounds. That was Marini. And we're going to have the final Charlotte substitution as Del Piccolo will exit the game.
Independent substitution entering the game
And it's going to be Mamadou Kansé, man who played for the Baltimore Bohemians last, coming into the contest now. Man who played with the University of Maryland, Baltimore County for 2 years. He spent 1 year playing at NC State in Raleigh before transferring. So Kansé completes the lineup tonight, and Charlotte is going to sink or swim with the 11 they have on the field.
Yeah, it looks like they intend to push numbers forward now. Kansé coming into that holding midfield, freeing up Herrera to stay high, and also Jackson at left back looks like he's going to try and overload with numbers from that left back position and provide additional numbers in the final third of the field.
Jackson tried to send it away up the field, but it was cleared out quickly. Slogic will keep the pressure on. The good news for Mike Jeffrey's team is that they have controlled the pace of play here in the second half, but have just 1 goal to show for it. Along the near sideline, that time it was Herrera unable to keep the ball in play. And it'll be out of bounds to Charleston, who will make its final substitution now. And it's going to be to the far end of the field, where the player will enter to the contest. This is going to be Austin Savage. And he's going to replace Cordoves. So Cordoves leaves the game with 2 goals and an assist. And it'll be Austin Savage, the 5'9" forward coming in, who scored the game-winning goal 2 years ago. Cordoves not exactly setting any records in exiting the pitch, and that has Jack's militia up in arms.
Yeah, willing to kill as much clock as possible now as we draw into the last 10 minutes of this game.
Boy, the whistle sounded and a good 45 seconds went off the clock in the process. We're talking about Savage. He scored against Houston Dynamo in the U.S. Open Cup in 2013. Scored the game winner in that one. Pass goes off a back. Winds up in Charleston's possession. This is Savage with it as he heads it on at midfield. Going down from behind, Martinez. Quick restart. Herrera. Calvert with it now with a charge, but 4 Battery players right around him. Challenge made clean, and up the field comes Dante Marini. But his pass intended for Savage went behind him. And Charleston with this new lineup now, much more aggressive in their passing, even though they're up a goal. Here's Calvert stripped away at midfield. But Calvert with a successful challenge that time on Jose Rodriguez. Clearing the ball, Ajiti went behind Savage. Goes into possession of Thompson. Back comes Charlotte. Roughly 10 minutes in injury time remaining. Jackson tries to keep it in play, but the ball is stripped away from him by Marini, who will play it away to Ajiti. And Charleston will look to kill some clock. The clearance will go out of bounds for a Charlotte throw.
Well, it's all one-way traffic at the minute, Jeff. Charlotte, putting the Battery under pressure, which they have done for the most part of this half, and again just failing to cut out that real sort of clear-cut chance that they're seeking. If they could a little bit static, they can just be a little bit more creative in that final third, some overlapping runs, some 1-2s, some give and goes, or a winger trying to take on a player and beat a player, just a little bit of positive run and carve out that final chance.
That's exactly right. Kansé won the run that time as Prince looked to sprint in. Prince now tries to save it in bounds but can't. We have under 10 minutes remaining here tonight in the first ever game for Charlotte Independence as they trail Charleston Battery by a score of 3-2 here tonight in front of a great opening night crowd. Charlotte back on the road for the next couple of weeks. Next week they'll be in Wilmington to take on Wilmington Hammerheads FC in the second game of the Southern Derby. With a clearance attempt, it was Mueller, managed to send it away to Marini, and right now Charleston is in time-killing mode. Since there are no locker rooms in place here, these two teams had to get dressed on those tents that you see off in the distance that are right behind the dugouts. Good job by Thompson to maintain possession. Throws it into the final third, but that's discarded quickly. Slogic will keep the pressure on as rhythmic clapping comes from Jack's militia. Here's Metcalf down the right side. Looks to send it away to Calvert, and does. Calvert tries to play it away to Herrera, but he's intercepted by Ferguson. Ribeiro on. His header was intercepted momentarily by Marini. That's played on to the far sideline. Thompson to Jackson. Thompson tries to negotiate a give and go. Now Jackson with a long run along the right corner. His centering pass for Herrera. Herrera taken down the box without a call. Cleared away momentarily. Then a challenge at midfield. Back away comes Kansei, and we have a whistle and a foul. And Kansei very upset over that whistle, and he's going to receive a booking for it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me really. He sort of left his feet, which he can't do. Although the Charlotte crowd don't seem to like that. I thought he did leave his feet and sort of dive in a little bit erratic there, and looked a dangerous tackle.
It was dangerous. So Mamadou Kansei. Let's take a look at this once again. Sometimes our replay can. Wow.
I mean, he leaves the floor. He leaves 2 feet, leaves the floor. I mean, he gets the ball. It is a strong tackle, and he gets the ball. But you just can't leave your feet.
Can't go too high, in other words.
Yeah.
Which he may have done. Slogic gets possession back for Charlotte in the 83rd minute. Independence rapidly trying to find the equalizer here as the clock is not on their side. This is Portillo. A clearance up the field. Slogic will manage to shut down Savage from getting it, and he'll play it along to Burner. Savage being aggressive, the 5'9" forward, who is a native of Summerville, South Carolina, and like Jack Metcalf, also played at Clemson. Now here's Rodriguez. Tried to get it away to Van Schaik. Jackson comes over to Markham. Van Schaik tries to put it away, but he passed that one behind Ajiti, who catches up to it. As we approach 84 minutes remaining now, or in the 84th minute. Rodriguez away to Savage. Back over across. Savage sends it to the far side. Prince will keep the ball in play. Charleston now in its attacking third. And the ball lines up out of bounds, and they rule it went off of Jackson. Or excuse me, it went off of Thompson, and it's going to belong to the battery on a corner, which will be its 4th of the night. You hear the singing down below. To the tune of a Twisted Sister song, which seems fitting since they've been in the news for unfortunate reasons as of late. Van Schaik, a dangerous corner man, will put it in play. As another interloping corner that's headed into the box and cleared out by Thompson. Right at the goal line. And then Kansei manages to send it out of bounds. That was the best attempt this half by Charleston.
When you see the threat that they cause from corners, and it's Ferguson getting up big. Oh, actually, was it the shot?
Yeah, I thought that was the case. It looked like Ribeiro got his head on that.
Yep.
And now Ribeiro is going out. I thought Charlotte was done with substitutions, but I thought they had already put 3 in the game, but here comes another one in as Ribeiro will exit the proceedings. And this is going to be, man, we don't have, it's 27. Unfortunately, we don't have him in our roster. So we'll hopefully have a name there coming up in just a moment. His name has not been announced. Up the field, Mueller clears it away. Here's Rodriguez. And Charleston being its most aggressive when they're looking to kill some time. Here comes Kansei as we approach 87 minutes gone by in the game. Herrera. And Herrera is fouled before that pass went away. Want to make mention that Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. The header winds up in the box. Charleston looked unclear exactly who was going to clear it, but ultimately it was Mueller who wound up doing the honors. Charlotte running out of time now. They have 3 minutes and change remaining. Ball to the far sideline. Slogic, as the ball was cleared away momentarily. Mamadou goes over across to Metcalf now. And once again goes to Conseil. Down to the left, Thompson steps over a man. Plays it away, but that ball had no chance for Herrera, and it's easily cleared. And Berner coming well out of the box now as the pressure is on. Charlotte running out of time. We'll try to find out in just a second how many minutes will be added on in closing entry time. This is where the drama can happen. Just ask Charleston after what happened last week when they scored in the 91st minute to get a result of what appeared to be a sure draw against Toronto FC 2. This is Thompson, who scored earlier tonight. Sends it away. Martinez. His entry pass done away with quickly. Pass goes to the mouth of the goal, but it's cleared away easily and sent up the field by Justin Portillo. As we are now at the 88th minute. Slogic with the urgency increasing here tonight in the Queen City. Far end Thompson looks for Jackson, but ball had no chance for him. Instead, it's Chang now with it. And then Chang, as he got the ball away to Savage, he was taken down. And the referee's assistant signals a foul against Independence.
Fans, an update on the latest Independent substitution. Entering the game was number 27, Charlie Bales. Exiting the game was number 6.
Charlie Bales is the man who we were trying to figure out who that was. He's actually wearing 27, but we had him listed in our roster as 22. Right. So he was the last man that came on just a moment ago for Ribeiro.
Yep, the fourth substitution for Charlotte Independence.
Yep. So we're in the 89th minute. Savage working himself to his feet. As we'll take a look at the foul here. The challenge came in that time from Slogic and looked like he got his leg high as well.
Yeah, he did. Just a late one, caught the top of the foot there, the Charleston Battery player, and that can be a sore one right on the top of the foot there.
Exactly.
Battery.
Some indecision as to who was going to, certainly a foul that was going to be called against Charlotte, so the Battery, for whatever reason, was lining up like the foul was against them.
Yeah, maybe just killing another 15, 20 seconds.
Exactly. Done more for time-killing mode than anything else. Well, this could be a precious result here for Battery. Keep in mind the top 6 teams from each conference move on to the playoffs. Charleston looking to get 6 points out of its first 2 games. They're just minutes away from doing it. Here's a turnover, though.
Linesman has his flag up here.
Yeah.
I believe the ball may have gone out. The referee hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah. And the official, in fact, the Charleston bench had to bring it to the head official's attention that it did indeed go off of Independence, and it'll be a throw here for the Battery.
Again, the Battery are just going to take the time and kill another 15, 20 seconds of time here.
You see Mike Jeffries upset about the whistle and why it didn't come sooner. We haven't received word on how much entry time.
Not yet. Here we go. The board's up there now.
It'll be 5 minutes of extra time. So Charlotte with latitude to work with here. Can they take advantage of it? Here's Bales, who played with the Des Moines Menace. That's where Mike Jeffries coached last season in the USL Premier Development League. Just a step down, the 4th tier of USL. Now he slips and falls. Savage creates the easy turnover there. Slogic comes out to cut it off. Slogic into the attacking third. It's headed away by Mueller. And then Savage was looking for someone to send that header to, but he couldn't.
Ferguson and Mueller dealing well with the aerial long balls and heading everything clear, and then big and strong back there for Battery.
Absolutely. Ferguson is at 6'4", Mueller listed as 6'2", might be bigger than that. Once again, it's Ferguson coming to the rescue, knocking away a header. Dangerous play there by Mamadou.
Yeah, gets away with a high foot there.
Burner cuts it off, quickly puts it into play. Here's Bales.
Oh, wow.
Crossing pass to no one in particular, easily cut off by Chang. Back comes Charleston. Chang with the pursuit. He's marked by Kansei, and he'll be out of bounds. Independence now. Clock stopped in the 90th minute. We're around the 2nd minute here of entry time. With Charlotte looking for the equalizer, they've scored the only goal of the half. And here's a dangerous play at midfield that goes without a whistle.
Yeah, Ferguson getting up there again, big and strong, and winning the header for important header for his team.
He's done several headers that have been important, and he's won several of them. We have an offside flag, and a foul will be called here as it goes out of bounds. Excuse me, no foul. It's just a simple throw here for Charleston.
The Independents need to get more players around that long ball. I mean, Ferguson and Moyler are winning every header and need to be picking up the second balls here in the last couple of minutes. So Martinez and Herrera need to be feeding off that long ball and trying to get on that second ball.
Daniel Jackson was inserted into the game for that reason, but he has yet to make his presence felt. He's at 6-1. Here's a goal kick quickly put in. Sales didn't see it coming until just now. Sales up the field, cut off. Mamadou keeps it in play. Charlotte trying to string something together here, but the long ball put forward by Martinez is cut off quickly by Cooper. As the fans from the regiment who have made their way up I-95 to watch this game from Charleston, South Carolina, anxiously await the final whistle. Charlotte fans hoping for one final miracle. Burner with a long ball up the field. And here's the header. Jackson will have a chance at it down the left flank. Quickly cut off. He'll be out of bounds to Charlotte for a throw. Now, Jackson is a strong man, but he won't be the one taking the throw. Thompson can get some air underneath these throw-ins. Let's see if he can do so here and get this one in the box. Well, he's not going to take it after all. It's going to be Charlie Bales doing it here. Man who was the last substitution. He's going to make plenty of room for himself. Gets a good long heave into it, goes into the box, headed away by Mueller. Charlotte will keep it in play. Oh, and a takedown, and it's going to result in a foul here as Finley once again creating things just as he did earlier on, which led to the penalty. The foul here against Marini.
And they've sent Burner forward as well. Keeper's forward here for Independence.
Yep.
Last chance, throwing everyone in the box. See if we can get a good delivery here from Thompson. Keeper hasn't been strong in previous instances coming for crosses, so let's see if we can get a good delivery in behind this, you know, in between that battery back line and that 6-yard box there.
You're absolutely right, Jack. This is the shakiest part of Cooper's game. Thompson will trigger the throw, but it is headed out quickly. It's going to be a corner here.
Yeah, disappointing from Thompson to not clear the first man there, but they've got a corner.
So Thompson will hurry up here with time running out. In injury time, Thompson sends it away. Slogic in the area. It's free. Charleston players won a handball, but it's going to be another corner. It's going to be Thompson sprinting to the far side now. This is Herrera, on the corner. Herrera will try this time. Sends in an interloper, but it's headed out immediately and cleared away. And there's the final whistle. Final whistle in, and Charleston holds on. Independence with a promising close to the game as they were the more aggressive side during the final 45 minutes of regulation, but it didn't go their way tonight, and Charlotte Independence loses its first ever game in its existence as they fall to Charleston Battery tonight, and Charleston finds itself in a standard spot atop the Eastern Conference here in USL as they have 2 games and 2 results, 6 points after they defeat tonight Charlotte Independence by a score of 3-2. And for Charlotte, there's a lot to look forward to here, and we're going to talk more about that when we continue here as we'll discuss the events that led up and concluded in this 3-2 win for Charleston in just a moment. We'll have more. Stay with us here as you're watching USL Soccer on YouTube. Jeff Hamlin back with Jack Vundam here tonight from Transamerica Field, where the first game in the history of Charlotte Independence has concluded in disappointing fashion. Charleston Battery comes to town and they beat Charlotte Independence in the first game of the Southern Derby 3-2. Charleston Battery 2-0 on the season. They will go back home next week to take on the defending Eastern Conference champions in USL, Harrisburg City. Meanwhile, Charlotte will head on the road to continue the Southern Derby. They will face Wilmington Hammerheads FC. To the highlights for this game, and we'll take a look at the first goal of the contest after Onasanel Cooper wound up making a couple of early saves. We're going to take a look at Charlotte's first goal. This came after Javier Cordoves wound up giving Charleston a 1-0 lead, but this was the highlight of the game and probably the prettiest goal of the night. A beautiful back heel flick. Jorge Herrera winds up sending it to Jack Thompson, and that was the equalizer. Last time this game was even at 1-1. As you can see, it came in the 13th minute. It was a pass of beauty here, Jack.
Yeah, great strike by Thompson. Caught it sweetly just on the half volley, and nothing Cooper could do about that one, and brought Charlotte back into the game.
But the night belonged, and certainly the first half belonged, to this man, Javier Cordoves. This pass to Ricky Garbanzo wound up giving Charleston a 2-1 lead. That was the goal that Cordoves assisted on, and this was a fine look in and of itself, though it was questionable whether or not Cordoves was in fact onside here.
Yeah, Slogic just keeping him a couple of yards on there, and if the ball's played square, he's always in an onside position. He obviously taps into an empty net.
So that made it 2-1. That came in the 21st minute, and now later on, as we venture into the first half, the third goal, and this was a long feed. Cordoves wound up knocking this one in off a feed from Michael Chang, and that turned out to be the game winner.
Yeah, great finish again by Cordoves. I mean, that first half, he did cause a lot of problems. He had a little bit of a quieter second half, but as you see, one long ball, great run into in behind that back four, and just a cool finish, and he slots it away, and a 3-1.
Well, that made it 3-1. Charlotte came out aggressive during the second half, and that paid dividends as they wound up getting a goal from Ryan Finley, who was taken down in the box right there from Taylor Mueller. And that resulted in a penalty kick. And ultimately, the penalty would be cashed in as Finley would score it in the 48th minute. And that put Charlotte within one at 3-2, but it would turn out to be the final goal of the night. Here was the almost own goal here, as it was Mueller almost knocking it into his own net off a lofted pass by Caleb Calvert, and Mueller nearly put that one. It was just inches over the crossbar. That resulted in a corner here. This corner went off the chest of Ribeiro, and then the ensuing attempt by Caleb Calvert just went over the crossbar. Frantic final moments. One final corner attempt for Charlotte that was headed away there. And the referee signaled full time right after that corner proved futile. And Charleston would come away with its second win of the season. And they will go back home now to Blackbaud Stadium next weekend. They will play in front of the regiment. Their adoring fans, over 4,000 strong, were on hand last week for their victory over Toronto FC, and a healthy amount of them came out here tonight on what turned out to be a very nice crowd for soccer here tonight in the first ever game for Charlotte Independence. They fall here by a score of 3-2. Charlotte will go to Wilmington next week for a contest next Friday night against Wilmington Hammerheads FC. Our next broadcast here from Charlotte will be on April the 24th, a Friday night. Harrisburg City Islanders, the team that took on Sacramento Republic last year in the USL Championship game, they will come to Charlotte and they will take on Independence here in Charlotte's next home game. It will be almost a month away, but we can't wait for it. We're going to be watching Charlotte play between now and then. Charlotte has road games on April 3rd, as we told you, next Friday night at Wilmington. They'll get a week off, and then they'll play the following Saturday, April 18th, against the Richmond Kickers. Jack, great working with you for the first time.
Yes, thanks, Jeff. It was a great game. I really enjoyed the game. Obviously, 5 goals. Although a disappointing result for Charlotte, I think there's plenty of positives they can take from this opening game. To go behind, they showed great character, responded well in the first half with a good goal, and for the majority of the second half they had Battery on the back foot. The Battery were defending deep and were resolute, and Moyer and Ferguson dealt well with the long aerial threats that Independence provided. But there was some good performance in there from a couple of Independence players, especially Martinez, I thought, and Herrera in the central midfield had great games. And I think as this team grows, they're a new team. That as they get in training together a little bit more often, a bit more familiar with each other's games, I think you'll see them start to gel and become more cohesive in their performance.
One thing's for sure, we're going to see a lot more expansion teams go through the same growing pains because the USL is full of them this year. In fact, just tomorrow, another expansion team, Louisville City FC, will be in action. They'll take on St. Louis FC. One veteran team, the Rochester Raging Rhinos, will be in action against New York Red Bulls 2. Also tomorrow, FC Montreal will be in action against Toronto FC 2. Lots of action coming up on YouTube, so if you love USL soccer, we encourage you to go to YouTube. You can watch all the action for free. Just go to uslsoccer.com and you can get a listing to see how you can watch these games for free and make it a complete soccer weekend. So the final score here tonight, Charleston comes to town and they beat Charlotte Independence in Charlotte's debut, 3-2. Jack Thompson scoring the first goal in Independence history. No doubt more goals to come and wins will follow. Good night from McQueen City.